It gives me great pleasure to greet you on this 75th Independence Day. India is celebrating 74 years of freedom from, if you calculate the number of Independence Days that India has celebrated, it will be 75 because the first Independence Day was celebrated on 15th August 1947. August 15 is usually filled with excitement of unfurling the flag, of singing patriotic songs and of various celebrations. It is indeed our special pride to be members and citizens of a free nation, remembering, of course, those nations and peoples who are still under the yoke of slavery, especially in communist regimes. We are grateful to our freedom fighters and the martyrs of our country, because of whose sacrifices we are able to enjoy a free citizenship in India. The ethos of the freedom struggle is the basis and the foundation of India as a modern nation. Our visionary leaders, with their diverse worldviews, brought all their views together and forged a common national spirit. It is their words and actions that have shaped the identity of today's modern India. We are indeed fortunate to have Mahatma Gandhi as the guiding light of our freedom struggle. We must not forget that Mahatma Gandhi was very much influenced by the teachings of Jesus Christ, especially the Sermon on the Mount. Today, the world is struggling with social strife, with climatic change, with economic struggle, is looking up to Gandhiji's teachings for relief. In fact, his quest for equality and justice is the mantra for India as a republic. Today, Independence Day will again be celebrated with a little bit of restraint. And the reason is obvious. A virus is confronting this world. In fact, the world confronts a tiny virus, invisible virus. And because of this virus, our activities are disrupted. The world is altered to a situation beyond recognition almost from what it was before the pandemic. But it is reassuring that the government, the church, and other social institutions have been working constantly and have been almost successful in responding effectively to this pandemic. It is true that there are some lacunae, there are some loops which could have been overcome, but they have not been able to overcome. But let us pray and hope that we, along with the government, are able to overcome all these issues for a better health in the coming days because of our commitment to life. The world is indebted to doctors, nurses, priests, religious, church institutions, among all other healthcare workers who are on the forefront battling this pandemic all these months in the past year. Many of them have even lost their lives fighting this pandemic. These are the national heroes. These COVID warriors deserve our high praise. Let us spend a moment in silence, in respect for these national heroes and also for our martyrs and freedom fighters. Amid this crisis of the pandemic, India has also suffered so many other disasters. For example, the Uttarakhand floods, the cyclone Taukate, the cyclone Yas, the Siddhi bus incident, the Shivamoga explosion in Karnataka, the hospital fires in Bombay and in Gujarat, and most recently, the Maharashtra floods. Despite these disasters, India is confident in her strength and has gone ahead and helped even other countries in fighting the pandemic, even with all these disasters around. Thus, India has shown that it is always helping other countries despite its own problems, and it will continue to engage in evolving regional as well as global strategies in order to help fight this pandemic. Dear sisters and my dear fellow citizens, in the fight against the COVID-19, we realize that life and livelihood are essential, and therefore the government has initiated, some of us have noted, some reforms to revitalize the economy. Let us pray and hope that these reforms will benefit not only few but all the people, despite their caste, their class, or any other section. It is true that we have learned many lessons in the past year. The first is, an invisible virus is able to master all of us. An invisible virus is able to show us that in a way that we human beings cannot say that we are masters or mistresses of nature. Second, what we have learned is Mother Nature treats everyone equally, whether rich, poor, healthy or unhealthy. And therefore we need each other to survive and continue in our growth. The third is that we need to develop a good health infrastructure. The fourth relates to science and technology. The pandemic has shown that the pandemic has highlighted, in fact, that science and technology has to be developed, because communication tools and IT have been in the forefront and in their use in governance, in education, in business, in office work, and even in social connect. Therefore, it is understood that the science and technology and digital communication have helped us in conquering two objectives: not only continuation of life, but also continuation of our activities. In fact, saving of lives and continuation of activities. Digital communications and IT have helped us in developing our e-learning and distance education. Work from home has become a common thing in all sectors. Therefore, it is imminent that we realize this, that we develop our science and technology wherever we are, but always in harmony with Mother Nature. These four tough lessons have been learned by all of us and by humanity. And the younger generation has gone through this tough time. And I believe, and all of us can believe, that the future of India, which lies in the hands of these younger generation, is in a safe place. The past has taught us many, the past has given us many inspiring examples of exciting reconstructions of societies, of countries, of economies, despite devastations like what has happened in the past year. So I believe, and I am sure, the youth of our country, our entire country, our congregation, our province have a bright future. My dear sisters and my dear citizens, when India had won freedom 74 years ago, the country thought, the world thought that it will not be able to live up to its democratic principles. They thought our ancient culture, our ancient traditions would become hurdles in continuing and being a good democracy. But we have shown them through all these years that we can remain a united democracy. Despite of all that we have gone through as a country, we have remained a united India. India will continue to remain a leading a leading example of the largest democracy in the world. The patience and the wisdom with which we have coped up with this pandemic, we have coped up with all our political struggles, indeed is heroic. I believe that we must continue to remain, and we will remain, a beacon, a model for other countries in the world who are still struggling with all these kinds of issues. And I end with a prayer for all of us, that we live by the principles of our constitutions and we live by the constitutions of our congregation. Jai Hind.